Welcome to this fourth and last talk on the teachings of Master Linji. And the subject of today is one day before Christmas Eve. And the fourth Advent is You Have Enough. And I think this is a very appropriate theme because usually we consume a lot. And in my own childhood, Christmas was something very special to me. It was special at school, it was special at home, and it was special in the church, which was actually very full, unlike many other Sundays of the year. And so I believe for me it was mostly a celebration. I did not contemplate so much, but I think celebration and contemplation can go hand in hand. And in the teachings of Master Linji, everything is already there. And the present moment is not lacking anything. So we are preparing for Christmas, but at the same time, Christmas is already there. Everything is in the present moment available. And we see that if we touch the present moment deeply, we also touch the future and we touch the past. And also Buddha, Jesus, Master Linji, they are all present in this moment and we can touch them. And we can make every moment into a wonderful moment because the present moment is not lacking anything. So even though Buddha was born around 2,500 years ago, Jesus about 2,000 years ago, we know that if we talk about the historical Buddha and the historical Jesus, that they were Homo sapiens, just like you and me, with eyes, with ears, with a heart, a liver, with intestines. And they had to die one day. But if we look deeply, we can actually see that in another way they are still there and we can talk to them because they're not bound to their body, just like we are neither. And we don't need to travel anywhere. And we just need to come back to ourselves in this very present moment. And during this time, we can think of the baby Jesus. And baby Jesus, just like you can imagine, like a small acorn that is planted and grows into a mighty oak tree over time. And so even though the acorn is very small, but do not underestimate the small acorn, just like we don't need to underestimate a small spark of fire because it can turn into a big fire, and a small acorn can grow into a big oak tree, just like Jesus and Buddha. They were very mighty oak trees, and many people took refuge in them. And we can be too. We can grow into a mighty oak tree. And if we think of the words of Master Linji is, where is Buddha now? And where is Jesus now? It is because your confidence is immature that you keep on searching outside of yourself. And baby Jesus is right here and right now. And not only can we touch this baby, but we can also be in touch with the child that we also used to be. Just like the mighty oak tree can be in touch with the acorn he used to be. The acorn is not gone, has not gone anywhere. And the same is true for us. We were 5 years old, 6 years old. We're also, or just born. And we can see ourselves as this small seed. And we can be in touch with this inner child. And we can invite the inner child to celebrate Christmas with us. Just like Master Linji says, you can talk to the Buddha and talk to Jesus. You can talk to your inner child and have your inner child celebrate Christmas with you in a joyful and light atmosphere. That is good nourishment for us. We're nourished by lightness, by freedom, by joy. today, in the book that we are using, I would like to start with section 11 on page 34. If in this moment you aren't able to meet the Buddha in person, then for countless lives to come, you will have to be reborn in the 3 realms of samsara, always searching for something to grasp hold of that will make you feel comfortable, continually being born in the womb of an ox or ass. So, in this moment, you aren't able to meet the Buddha, the Jesus in person, then you continue looking. Then you will, for countless lives to come, you have to be reborn, always looking for something. And Master Linji says, yes, but every place is a place of arrival, and you can make every place into your true home, the here and now. Do not look for the Buddha in the future, and do not stop running. Listen to the sound of the bell and realize that everything is there for us. We can listen to the sound of the bell and come back to the fact that we have a body, and breathing in, I am aware of my body. Breathing out, I relax my whole body. The message of having enough, I find actually very clear in one of my favorite poems of our teacher. I would like to read this poem, and it's called Our True Heritage. The cosmos is filled with precious gems. I want to offer a handful of them to you this morning. Each moment you are alive is a gem, shining through and containing earth and sky, water and clouds. It needs you to breathe gently, for the miracles to be displayed. Suddenly you hear the birds singing, the pines chanting. You, the richest person on earth, who have been going around begging, stop being the destitute child. Come back and claim your heritage. Enjoy your happiness and offer it to everyone. Cherish this very moment. Let go of the stream of distress and embrace life fully in your arms. The cosmos is filled with precious gems. So every moment is a precious gem, and if we're not mindful, then the miracles are not being displayed. So it says here, it needs you to breathe gently for the miracles to be displayed. And the story of the destitute child is a story from the Lotus Sutra. And in here, there was a boy who left home when he was quite young, and he had become a wanderer, begging for food. So very poor, and having to take all kind of job that he could take to have something to eat. And without realizing it, one day he comes by the house of his father, who was very, very rich, and he felt he didn't belong there. And he didn't recognize his father. But his father immediately recognized his son. And the father noticed that the boy was not ready to accept the fact that he was the son of a very rich man, and that he didn't need to be poor, but that he could come back and claim his heritage. Come back and claim your heritage, as in the poem. And so he hired his son to do kind of the lowest kind of work, and then slowly he gave him higher and higher positions. and the boy started to have more confidence into his own capacities. And finally, the father could tell him that he was his son. And at that time, the son also felt worthy to be the son, and he didn't have an inferiority complex. It took time for him to see that, in fact, he was somebody very rich. And so it's a message for us that we are all quite rich, and we do not have to go around begging. With the practice of mindfulness, we can have the confidence that we are Buddha, that we are Jesus, that we don't have to go looking around begging from the crumbs of other people. And we don't need to become something in the future that we are not right now, but to recognize that everything we want to become is already there. If the acorn looks deeply, she already sees the oak tree. She does not need to hope to become an oak tree. She is just accepting to be an acorn and naturally grows into the oak tree. But if she looks deeply, she is already that oak tree. And if the oak tree looks deeply, she will see the acorn. And so you, the richest person on earth, who has been going around begging, stop being the destitute child. Come back and claim your heritage. And this section is a reminder that we are rich and we can come back and claim our heritage by cherishing this very moment and by making this moment into a very wonderful moment. I'd like to continue with section 21, page 68. A monk asked, "What was Bodhidharma's intention in coming here?" The master replied, "If he had an intention, he would not even be able to save himself, let alone bring others to the shore of awakening." So also this question, why did Bodhidharma come to China or go to the West, was a very common question. And Bodhidharma was a foreigner. He came from India. So what was he doing in China? What was his intention? And I think a very good possible answer of Master Linji could have been, mind your own business. It's a great answer to reply like that. Like sometimes we have so many questions about other people. What was it, Bodhidharma's intention? But it's not your business. That's the business of Bodhidharma. Or we say like, mind your own practice. And that can help us to take away the object and for us not to get lost in the speculation about the intention of other people. Master Linji could have also said, well, I don't know, ask Bodhidharma. So there's many ways to answer. But Master Linji said if he had an intention, he would not even be able to save himself. So in fact, he says he had no intention at all, because to him, the Buddha and the masters are businessless people. They have nothing to do and they have nothing to attain. So also Bodhidharma was a free person in his view. And so he was free from intentions and he did not try to attain anything. So, and if he would have done that, then he would not have been free and he would not have been able to even save himself. And well, also intentions are something interesting. We have intentions, and usually we want our intentions to sound quite good. And so we may have wonderful intentions to, we do this or that, and we say like, I want to support Buddhism, or I want to help spread the Buddha's teachings. I do it for God. It sounds great, or I want to repay my gratitude to the Buddha or my teacher. But are we really sure? Are we really sure about our intention? Are we really deeply in touch with ourselves? Because sometimes we do things more for ourselves, actually, than for the other person. And it reminds me of a story that Sister Jankom once told, and that is that there was a child in Plum Village, and for her birthday, Sister Jankom made something, like a special kind of cake, and she wanted to offer it, and the child started to cry. The child didn't know what it was. I think probably was, if I remember correctly, was being brought up in France and had never seen such a cake, which was from Sister Jacob's own childhood, already much longer ago, and in Vietnam. And so Sister Jacob also felt quite sad. And then Thai said, like, yeah, but maybe you made the cake more for yourself, because it is something, that you see that would have made you joy, but it is not the appropriate gift for that child. So so we can look deeply and we can see, what is our real intention. And one of the 6 paramitas in Buddhism is dana, is generosity. And generosity is not given in the spirit of recognition. It is a very natural giving, because we have the insight that we are interconnected, and it is not a separate self offering something to another separate self, but we are deeply connected. And if we want to support a project, then we are happy to support that project because we see it's a good project. We want to be part of it. And this is a very deep practice to let go of this idea of a separate self. Just like if I'm thirsty, there's no water in here right now, but imagine there is. If I'm thirsty, then my hands very naturally help me to drink water, because the hands have the insight that it's all part of the same body. And so it's not that the hands have something like, okay, well, you must remember that. You must remember that I did that, that I'm very good at helping you to drink water. And the same, we can also apply that a little bit further. We can see that in our family too. We see that we are not only a separate individual, but we are also connected. And the happiness of ourselves is not separate from the happiness of the other members of our family. So we take care of someone, we take care of the whole family. We continue on page 69, still section 21. Even if you were to live alone on a solitary peak, eating only 1 meal a day, sitting in meditation all night, never lying down, practicing diligently for 12 hours of the day, all you are doing is creating more karma. Someone who makes offerings like this is not equal to the person who has nothing to do, and who knows how to be simple and unconfused. Even though a bodhisattva who has ascended the 10 bodhisattva levels gave all his heart and mind to discovering the traces of someone who has nothing to do, he will not be able to find him. So in this section, Master Linji emphasizes again the importance of the spirit of having nothing to do, and to see that practice is not about hard work. It's about being able to be light, to be relaxed, to be free. And those are very beautiful offerings also during Christmas time, that we're not offering our stress, our worries about the perfect celebration, but we offer our freedom, our lightness. And making offerings is not necessarily a sign of good practice. Master Linji says we should do it in a very natural way, like a person who has nothing to do, who knows how to be simple and unconfused, and knows what is needed. And because it is so natural, just like eating when we are hungry, drinking when we are thirsty, because it is so natural, it doesn't leave any kind of trace. So even a bodhisattva, very high level attained, will not be able to find traces of the person who has nothing to do, because it is completely natural and doesn't try anything, doesn't try to attain anything, doesn't look for recognition. In section 23, Master Linji talks again about the 5 worst offenses that we can commit, like killing our parents or killing a Buddha. And so Master Linji, there's a short section in here, a short paragraph. As far as I'm concerned, the idea we have of Buddha is like a latrine pit. And in that sense, bodhisattvas and aras are just people who put you in chains. That is why there is the phenomenon of Manjushri bringing a sword to kill Gautama. So the idea we have of Buddha is just an idea, and it's not something holy. It's just can be something like a latrine pit, and Gautama here is the family name is the birth name of the Buddha. And in the Ratnakutta Sutra, a Bodhisattva Manjushri brings a sword to kill Gautama, to kill the Buddha. But the Buddha answered, before you kill me, you should learn the way how to kill. Because if you look deeply, you will not see a separate self. You'll see that the Buddha is separate of an empty self. And so now also we see that the Buddha has died, or Jesus has died. But in another way, we also can see, if we look deeply, we can see that they are still present with us. And because they're separate, they don't have a separate self. They're empty of a separate self. And means that they continue to live in all of us. And all the bodhisattvas present at that time, who still had feelings of guilt from their past wrongdoings, they were able to be liberated because they could kill the ignorance of having done injustice to a person who is in fact not a separate self. And so they were able to remove the real obstacle to their liberation. And the idea of the Buddha is also an obstacle. And here, Master Linji says, that idea, we have to kill that idea. And Buddha is just an empty term. And the same is true when he also speaks about the worst crimes, about killing the parents. It's also killing the idea that we are separate from each other. We are encouraged to kill all wrong perceptions that we have. And Thai also teaches us, which I find very beautifully done in one of his other poems, that the real enemy is not a human being, but it's ignorance and hatred. We kill because we have not really seen the other person. And so that's another aspect of Manjushri bringing a sword to kill Gautama, like having actually not really seen the person. And so we can listen to one sound of the bell, and then we will listen to the song of this poem, because it has been put into music, and I think it's much nicer than listening to me reading the poem.
content but knowing the immortality of love, and on the long rough road both sun and moon will shine. Promise me this day, while the sun is just overhead, even as they strike you down with a mountain of hate and violence. Remember, brother, man is not our enemy. Just your pity, just your love, invincible, limitless. Hatred will never let you face the beast in man. And one day when you face this beast alone, your courage intact, your eyes kind, out of your smile will bloom a flower, and those who love you will behold you across 10,000 worlds of dying and birth. Alone again, now go on, with bent hand but knowing the immortality of love, and on the long rough road both sun and moon will shine, lightening my way.
In fact, Master Linji also talks about destroying the sangha of afflictions. So also killing the sangha of afflictions. And our afflictions, like ignorance, greed, hatred, are all obstacles to our path of awakening. So that's why we should kill those afflictions. And Master Linji tells us to pull the weeds of our afflictions, because if we leave our garden unattended, then the weeds will take over and we will become very poor. Become poor because the good seeds are not able to grow, and those good seeds are like precious gems, and we should take good care of them and nourish them. And there's a story of one of the past lives of the Buddha, in which the Buddha was a student and very diligent and very talented. And he was hoping, like many other young men of his time, that he would be successful in his career and that he would be a minister. And so he studied very hard and was invited to come to the capital for a test. But in fact, when he was not elected, so it was a big disappointment. So instead of staying longer in the capital city, he chose to immediately return home. So he was walking quite fast and he got quite tired. And at a certain point, he came by a hermit, and that hermit was cooking soup. And so he was so exhausted and he was so hungry that he asked if he could have something of the soup. And the hermit replied that the soup was not ready yet, but soon be ready, and he could just rest a bit because he looked tired. Just lie down and rest a bit. When the soup is ready, I will wake you up and you can have something of the soup. And so so that's actually what the young student did. And he was so tired that he immediately fell into a deep sleep. And in his dream, actually, he was elected. He was chosen to become the Minister of Defense, and that he could marry the beautiful princess. So he got everything he wanted, but it turned out to be not at all so beautiful as he had imagined, because his relationship with the beautiful princess was very difficult, in fact, and his work was also difficult, and his relationships were difficult. And because he was so distracted by his personal problems, he made mistakes in his work because he could not concentrate. And that led to the country losing a war with a neighboring country. So as he was led to the death penalty, he was suddenly woken up by the hermit because the soup was ready. And when he ate the soup, he was so impressed with the calmness and with the compassion of the hermit that it touched him very deeply, and he realized that actually joy, lightness, freedom were much more important for his happiness than his idea about success. And so he had to kill his ideas about success. What is success really? Because it was an obstacle for his liberation. Today, I would like to listen to a text about the deep aspiration of Bodhisattva Ksitigarbha. And this Bodhisattva Ksitigarbha goes into places of deep suffering and is present for suffering without fear and is not drowned in suffering. And of course, Ksitigarbha also has the deep insight like Manjushri and has the deep compassion like Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. So we can listen to this text.
We invoke your name, Ksitigarbha. We aspire to learn your way of being present where there is darkness, suffering, oppression, and despair, so we can bring light, hope, relief, and liberation to those places. We are determined not to forget about or abandon those in desperate situations. We will do our best to establish contact with those who cannot find a way out of their suffering, those whose cries for help, justice, equality, and human rights are not being heard. We know that hell can be found in many places on earth. We will do our best not to contribute to creating more hells on earth and to help transform the hells that already exist. We will practice in order to realize the qualities of perseverance and stability so that, like the earth, we can always be supportive and faithful to those in need.
And so to end today's session, I would like to sing two songs, and one song is a reminder that the Pure Land is right here and now, and we can always return to this land with a mindful in and out breath. It is not far away because we do not need to look for the Pure Land anywhere else. It is right here. I have a cold, so again I would like to listen to the song and we can sing along.
The
the last song I would like to sing with you is the song Happiness is Here and Now. And this song brings us the spirit of the teachings of Master Linji in a very clear and concrete way. Be the person without business, a businessless person who is not in a hurry and who can touch happiness in the very here and now.
Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Somewhere to go, something to do, but not in a hurry.
Yeah, so to close today's session and also the series of 4 of this month is Master Linji. As a reminder, he teaches us that practice is not about hard work, and with mindfulness we can be present for ourselves, we can take care of our afflictions and nourish the positive seeds in us. And Master Linji uses different methods to help his students wake up to reality and to have a direct experience of reality, and not by our thinking, which is actually an obstacle. And we should be sovereign wherever we are and use exactly that place as the seat of our awakening. And for that we do not need to look for anything outside of ourselves, but have confidence in our own mind and our own capacity to awaken. And there is not much to do, and we can be a businessless person and be free from all kinds of projects. And then we can be a good spiritual friend and help many people. And I hope this short course has contributed also somewhat to nourishing the positive seeds in us. And these positive seeds are precious gems, and take good care of them. I wish you a wonderful Christmas and a very wonderful 2024.